Well. Hey guys, how's everyone doing today? Hope you guys are doing awesome. Crazy stuff is happening in crypto right now. Anyone here watching the markets? We're going to talk about that, and we're going to talk about one crypto in particular that's really surprised me. Yes, Tinset is awesome. For those of you guys in chat, I'm looking at chat right now. Super pumped about Tinset. If you didn't watch the video I released earlier today, go check that out. Tinset is really, really cool. There's not a lot of cryptos that are out there that have kind of the financial mind that those guys have. So I'm super bullish on them and really like where they're going. And go check out their Telegram channel too. So if you don't know what tinset.io, run into that channel, check out the crypto, check out my review I just dropped. Super, super cool. Today, we're going to be talking about the crypto market. Has anyone seen that it's been going up? We're going to talk about maybe not why it's going up or why it's going down. I think we've talked about why it's going down ad nauseum, but we're going to talk about one crypto in particular that sort of defied the odds, that has sort of it's taken a few punishments, but by and large, it's outperformed everything else that's out there. And I'm going to talk about why I think that is. So, man, I hope you guys are doing great today. I am checking chat. A lot of stuff that you guys may want to know about. Save your questions maybe more towards the end, because I probably will not be able to get over to it towards the end. No, Tim Fournette, it is not Westcoin. Tim is in my leading camp of people to create my own coin. Maybe one day, but at the moment I've got my hands in too many other things. So let's jump right in. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen out. We're going to talk about what is interesting to me. So right here is Coin Market Cap. I kind of live on here. I think probably a lot of you do as well. So much great information that's sorted right away, right in front of you. So looking at all of the top cryptos that are here, we're seeing a recovery, which is good. We know where a lot of the crash came from. You know, some people like to have the conjecture around Elon blowing it up. Sure, I think Elon had a part to play. As we know, his command over the capabilities of trolling can do. But I think it's much greater than him. I think it's a lot of market forces, a lot of what's happening in Asia, especially China, a lot of fear that was instilled into the market. And there's a lot of like fear trackers inside of crypto that like pull together a lot of data sources from different places and use that to sort of read the market conditions. And sure, there's a lot of that kind of forced a massive sell-off. And I think that had a lot to do with it for sure. But I also think anytime you see such, stratospheric increases and crypto going to what it went to, you're going to naturally see a lot of people say now is the time to sell. And we saw a lot of that all happen together. So pretty interesting. But here's what we're going to do instead. The markets are up now. Yes, that's great. I hope they continue to rise. I think we'll see corrections. I think we'll see, I'm hoping that we're not truly in a bear market. And I think the next few weeks are going to really teach us what things are going to look like in the longer term. But I'm not surprised really to see a pretty big pullback from the reduction and just seeing things go back up again. I think it's great. It's healthy. I'm glad to see this happening. But here's what I want to do. I want to take a look right here at percentage changes. And notice one stands out right away. Over 24 hours, there's one that is really, really blown up. And that's been Polygon by far and away at 84%. And if we look at this over the past 7 days, you're going to see the same thing as well. I don't know why that's showing negative right now. That's weird, but it's still showing number one. We probably got something weird on our browser. Let me hit refresh. Let's go back to a 7-day overall. Yeah, I guess it's gone crazy already. But anyway, going back to Matic. Matic is an interesting one because it really has defied the odds of what's been happening inside the market. Let me just go back and show it to you here. I think it's somewhere around number 15. Yeah. So here we go. So it's really, really done well over the past day and really performance-wise over the past week, 2 weeks. And there's a lot of reasons for this. I'm a big fan of what's happening in the world. I say Matic. I really should start saying Polygon. It's kind of moved over to that. But we're going to talk a little bit about what Polygon is, at least like the investor's guide of why I think it's pretty cool in this live stream today. And we're going to show some data on what's going on. But the first thing I want to do is I want to start with this. This came from Willy Woo. I don't actually subscribe or follow him, but I know a bunch of people do. He's super awesome dude. And apparently he's paying the $800 a month Glassnode subscription. So credit where it's due. And I'll put this in the comments, a link over to Willy's Twitter where I got this from, because I'm a pretty big credit where it's due. But if you look here at Glassnode, some interesting data that he's showing is what we see in the yellow is the growth. This is what Glassnode calls entities net growth. Just over time, the growth over a particular time of new people entering into, in this particular case, Bitcoin. And so you can see here some big spikes that would happen. And a lot of these, if you track over news events, there's big things that would happen over the years that would cause these big spikes. But you notice over here, a lot of user growth that happened during that 2018, huge increase. And I've talked about this on some of my channels, on some of my videos on my channel before, is that 2018, I remember when it went up to 20K, life was blowing up. Everyone's like, yo, what's this crypto thing, man? I've heard about it, but 20K, that's insane. You think it'll ever go higher? And, of course it dropped down, but you saw right before that, a huge growth in user count. Why is that? Well, you have to remember the average user that's involved in crypto, they're not very skilled. They're doing what they see the market doing. They're reactionary by nature. And when you can understand that and you can rise above the capabilities of the average investor, that's usually the last in, the first out, and usually always backwards, you can really begin to understand the market a little bit more. And so you see this happening here way back in 2018. I wanted to show this to you. And then you saw the market really begin to fall back down. And look what's happening over here. Same thing is happening. So many new entrants coming back into crypto. This is going to be delayed by a few days, but I think if we continue to check this, you're going to see the same thing is happening. Lots of new users coming into crypto. And why is that? Well, I think it's both before when we hit our all-time highs, and then we hit the all-time, not the all-times, but the huge crashes. What's the buying philosophy for people in this? Well, I'll tell you what that is. For most people, it's simply, yo, I want in on this thing, right? Like I want to get in on this train, why it's going so high. And then it begins to crash. And a lot of people, especially when it went down as far as it did, I had a lot of people reach out to me like, hey, I need to buy now. I've been waiting for an opportunity to buy, and I wasn't going to buy, Bitcoin at 60K or, Ethereum at 3K or 3.5K or whatever other crypto that was at its all-time high. They're like, I've never been able to get into it. I feel like I missed the boat. And then boom, the crash happens and everyone wants in. And we know that correlates. Like you look at what's been happening with Voyager, you look with a lot of these exchanges, they've been buried in KYC. The exchanges have been down because of the volume. All of that kind of stuff is certainly happening. And so I just wanted to show that to say, that's interesting to me, really, really interesting. Willy Woo is saying, in his view, he's like, we're not in a bear market at all. This is still all the structure and mechanics for a bull market. Now, I'm not here to say one way or another. I typically don't do price analysis on this channel, but I do like to get into like the buyer's mindset, like what they're thinking and what they're doing inside of all of that. So that's pretty interesting with all of this. So let's talk about Polygon a little bit more. So I showed you over here, if you're just joining us, we're talking about one crypto that sort of defied the odds. And it's really, really performed quite well. It looks like the charts keep messing with me here, but there we go. If we do a 24-hour change, it's at 86%, just dropped down to -4%. So it may have had a dip, but literally an hour ago, it was also the highest over a 7-day as well. But when I sort for this one, it's no longer even in the top 10. Yeah, here it is. It's way down here. But anyway, it's performed really, really, really well. And there's some reasons for that I want to jump into. So one thing I wanted to show you, just some data points with Polygon, is look at its user growth. So it's had some parabolic growth. It's had some very, very fast growth over the past, really, you see April, it begins to pick up, but the month of May is just boom, like staggering growth. By the way, this comes from DappRadar. Love DappRadar. Man, I can spend hours on DappRadar just looking around, finding things, jumping into what interests me, and finding stuff I never knew of before as well. So it's neat to see this significant growth that's happening inside of Polygon. And it has to make you wonder, like, what's going on here? What makes it grow so much over this time? And why has it performed so well compared to all of the other cryptos that really took their licks? How and why has that happened? And by the way, I meant to show you this. Let's actually open this up and check out its, let's just check out its 1 month view. Look at that. That's not Bitcoin. That's not Ethereum at all, is it? It's been pretty stable. And then it really had some highs as we remember, but yes, it took its licks, but it came up very quickly and it didn't actually fall near as far as a lot of the others. So that's pretty interesting. That gets people thinking like there's got to be something in here that's causing user growth, one, and two, a lot more market stability and quicker recovery than a lot of the others that are out there. So how many of you guys, let me just look in live chat, saw my video that I produced last week called Hey ETH, You Suck? Give me a yes if you watched that. If not, cue it up to watch it. Look, I love ETH. I will always be an ETH owner. I am always buying ETH. I'm a huge believer in Ethereum and what they're doing. But we all know, oh yeah, you're right. Share my screen. I wasn't, let me bring back, newbie mistake. There we go. So this is what I was talking about right here. This is the market going pretty consistent. Thank you for reminding me to share my screen. So anyway, going back to ETH, you know, I love it. I'm a huge believer in it, but it sucks right now because there's a lot of tokens people want to get into, and they're like, yo, like, how am I supposed to be able to get into this when ETH fees are like $100, $200 to like make any kind of transaction at all? I'm just going to lose. It's not possible, especially like a lot of the burn tokens that are like nonstop coming out right now. Even Tencent that I covered earlier today, same thing, right? How do I get into this when I can't afford, like I've got $100 buy that I can afford and it's eaten up in fees? It's terrible. So we know a big challenge of ETH right now is just its capability to scale. We know that the ETH team will tell you that they know that there's ways to address that. But this is a key piece to what Polygon is all about that I wanted to share with you. Is Polygon is really thinking through this, and this is where the user growth is coming from. And so I wanted to show Polygon to you. If you haven't seen it before, we're not going to dive super in depth into it in this video, but I just wanted to like expose you to Polygon and get you to understand why it's super cool. By the way, it's pretty easy to buy, which is good. You'll be able to get it on Coinbase, Voyager, a number of the major exchanges that you're going to want to buy on. You can for sure get it, right? So, okay, so taking a look at this, it really kind of talks about a few things that they're trying to address from the perspective of where Ethereum is struggling with. And it runs, think of it as associated with Ethereum, and they sort of call it at the top up here, they call it Ethereum's Internet of Blockchains. So this idea of like, why can't we have these side chains and these individual blockchains that can do their own things and interact with Ethereum when we need to, and use some of Ethereum's capabilities when we need to, like its contract system, but not have to use its gas fees? That's kind of cool, right? Like all of a sudden now I could trade using Polygon and individual side chains and not have to pay $200. Like that alone for most people is like, that's convincing. That's awesome. I love the idea. And so what they're really trying to do is, you know, fully benefit from Ethereum, as we mentioned, make it a little bit more secure, make it much more open and powerful, and give us the capabilities to do so much more than what we would be doing operating purely on Ethereum alone. And I'll show you some examples of this in just a minute. So, you know, they're talking about the challenges that Ethereum has right now. We know this, low throughput. Unless you're willing to pay a whole lot, it's going to take some time to go through. Or if you don't want to pay super high fees, it's going to take a while for sure. Poor user experience. And again, this is what I'm talking about. Like when you think about the normal buyer, they don't understand all the technical things going on. They just know, dude, Ethereum is like really expensive. Why is it so hard for me to buy anything? This almost seems like a fraud. It almost seems like a scam. Everyone's talking about how cool Ethereum is and these interesting tokens. They want me to pay $100 to buy it, and they don't understand what's going on. They just think like this Ethereum company is taking $200 in fees, right? That's how the average buyer thinks. So very poor user experience right now. Again, Ethereum knows that. We're working on it. And then, of course, no sovereignty. And that's way beyond what we want to talk about today in terms of how contracts are built and how they're used and authenticated, all that kind of stuff. So this is what we're trying to solve with Polygon, is giving us the capability to have side chains, to be able to do things off Ethereum without having to pay those high gas fees, make it super fast. In fact, so fast where we could do things that we've never really truly been able to do before, like games and things like that. That's really, really cool. So this is certainly an innovative platform that's out there. Very, very, very interesting, very innovative. And so I wanted to show one thing to you if you're interested in this. Going back over to DappRadar, they've got a good article. I'll put a link to this as well in the description after we're done with the live stream. But they cover a bunch of the Polygon apps that are coming out, a bunch of stuff that's running on top of Polygon, just as a way to illustrate some of the things that are happening. And so, for example, here's several of like the liquidity and staking pools that you can get involved in. I was checking out Polycat earlier today. I think like theoretically it's like 700% APY in farming. Obviously, it won't typically be that high, I'm sure. But it's you know, wow, it's pretty interesting seeing some of that. So you can check some of those out. Again, I'll put a link to this if you want to check what DApp Radar is showing with some of these that are out there. But the big one that's out there, the one that's been out there for a really long time, is this guy right here, is QuickSwap. So this is kind of interesting. If you've been interested in getting involved in the Polygon world, or you want to explore why we've seen such growth inside of Polygon, here's your answer. So this is just quickswap.exchange. You always need to make sure that's the right URL, because otherwise you could get hosed otherwise. So do recommend bookmarking it, so you always go there. It connects through MetaMask. If you're a MetaMask user, very simple to get. I don't know if Restream is going to show this for me, but I'm gonna try. I'm looking at the screen now. Yeah, it doesn't show the pop-ups from browser toolbars, but when you open MetaMask, you'll need to go and switch it from Ethereum to Matic. And you'll notice that I'm not Trust Wallet, but MetaMask understands that. And then as long as you have Matic, you will be able to do swaps inside of all of this. So you'll be able to pull these down and take a look. And so you can kind of jump into this ecosystem. If you've been in Pancake, Uniswap, any of those that are out there, you'll certainly recognize kind of how all of this works. And so you'll notice that the ability to make contracts and buy and sell, the fees are way lower than Ethereum. And so if I am an investor, I'm just the average person, right? I'm not building blockchain stuff. I'm not, doing anything like that. I just want to understand why, when we go all the way back over to here, why Polygon has done so well. There's your answers for this. It really is solving a huge pain point that we have in the industry, at least in terms of ETH being really astronomically high in gas prices. And so a lot of user growth in this. And also, a lot of people think through when you see a big crash like this, one thing that goes through their head is like, they may not want to sell, but they may want to get into yield farming. And they may want to say, look, I got a ton of crypto I've been holding, and everything's crashing down on me, but I don't want to sell it. And I'm going to move over to yield farm somewhere. And that's where Polygon is an excellent option for you. So maybe people switched a bunch of their Ethereum holding and they went over to Polygon, and they're going to use Polygon to do their farming, yield farming. So there's a lot of reasons we've seen the growth. But if you're just joining us, we've been talking about this one crypto that's out there that's really survived this crash, and why. And that's Polygon. It's really led the way. And so I think it's a really interesting one. I've been wanting to cover it on the channel for a really long time. I've just struggled with, like, when do I get this in? And this is a great time to do so, checking out now why Polygon has done so well. And so again, you can see this if you're joining us. I was just looking at the top cryptos that are out there. The market's doing really well at this point in time as we're taking a look. Things are really coming back up, which is exciting. And then I was just showing this one that's just beating everybody else, both in the 24-hour and typically over the longer 7-day haul. Although it's showing -4, -6 now, but it's trending over the past few hours. With the 7-day chart was number one. So I think that's really great. Very excited about the future of Polygon. I think they're solving problems here. I think their capabilities of allowing you to have side chains, allowing you to be able to build more things on top without the hindrances of Ethereum's fees and capabilities is certainly awesome. And there's competitors to this environment. If you've ever looked at Cosmos, I'm a huge fan of Cosmos. I did some videos around Secret Token just recently, or Secret Network, that runs using the mechanics of Cosmos. So Cosmos is another very similar in competition to what you see here with Polygon. And look, I'm not a winner. I don't pick winners, right? Like, I'm all about what interests me. What gets me going on a particular, maybe it's two things that I like. I'm a big fan of seeing Polygon and seeing Cosmos both work. They will push each other to innovate, do interesting things. And I personally own both because I want to see both of them do well. I am not going to pick a winner here with ones like that. So anyway, I wanted to show this to you and just wanted to kind of explain and kind of give you some thoughts on why this one was so exciting to me, what I thought was really, honestly, really cool in the markets, looking at why it's been so stable. So I've got a few more minutes, and we're kind of finished with what I was showing you on Polygon and why it's done so well. So let me know if you guys have some questions, and be happy to answer them. So I see, I'm just going to pick ones out that I think are interesting to me in the final maybe 10 minutes I have left with you guys. So KlueCoin, I've seen that one. I actually did buy some of that last night. That one has been blowing up like crazy. I think it's been over like 1,000% growth in the middle of the crash. But everyone's got to understand, I'm not advocating KlueCoin by any means. I'm just saying I saw that one. It was interesting to me. I did see it go crazy. It's a burn token that's out there. It's interesting. And so I bought a bunch of it, and definitely check out that one if you're interested. Just know that burn tokens are extremely speculative. There's some good ones out there. There's a lot of rug pulls that are out there, and there's never a guarantee. In fact, if you take my advice from any other YouTubers that are out there, you're probably going to go bankrupt. So do your own research. But I did buy some of them because I thought it was pretty interesting. Let's see, what else do I see here? Thoughts on Pig? I don't own any Pig. I actually covered Pig a little bit on one of my burn token reviews. It was one of the earlier ones that came out, and I really liked it. I do know that it's come out on some exchanges like Gate.io and some others, so that's a good thing. It's kind of neat to see some of the burn tokens come out on some of those smaller exchanges for sure. So, if you like it, super cool. Let's see, what else do I want to talk about? I'll really try to talk about the things I'm knowledgeable about, and the ones I'm not, I'll just tell you, because there's a million projects that not everyone has time for. Feg. Okay, I've seen a bunch of stuff on Feg. You guys know I cover Feg some. I've never been paid to do any Feg videos. I just like Feg. One thing that's interesting about them is the developer roadmap. They have the liquidity pools. They have the swap. It's much more than just a token itself. You can go to feg.token if you want to see more about what they're doing. I think it really does have potential. There's real development behind it, which is awesome. What do I think about Shiba? It's fun to watch, my friend. That's all I can tell you on that one. It is a riot to watch that one blow up, very much like Dogecoin. If you've been in on it and you had those gains, good for you. My gut tells me that era of gains that were as astronomically high as that one may be gone for Shiba, but maybe not. Do your own research on that one. But I do think it's pretty interesting. Let's see, Hedera hash graph. Yeah, thank you for letting me know about that one. I saw that one recently. Someone on the channel was sending that over to me. I did check that one out. I was pretty interested. At some point, I'd like to cover that one. I don't know don't know when I'll get to it, but I was very, very interested in that one for sure. And there's a bunch of other like neat, smaller projects I'm wanting to get into. I've kind of found in this channel, you guys have been really good to me in terms of letting me cover newer, smaller projects that don't have a ton of like market cap and trying to do some things different. I'm a big believer in like, I want to see new projects come out that are trying, pushing the envelope and doing new things because that's good for everybody. Matic price prediction, I'm not that guy. I don't typically do that kind of stuff. I will tell you I'm a believer and I think it's gonna do well over time. But I don't typically do a lot of price prediction on this channel, but I am definitely a believer in Matic, as I've showed you covering Polygon today. So Algo. I don't know enough about Algo. I do like it. I do own some of it. Typically what I'll do when something comes out on Coinbase, I'll wait for like 2 to 3 weeks for that initial Coinbase buzz of everything blowing up on price and to come back down. And I bought some Algo a long time ago. It's automatically staking there. So I like it. It's fun kind of watching it come in and earn. It's actually earned pretty well for me, pretty consistently. But I don't know a ton about that one. So I'll kind of save my thoughts for that one. But I do own some, and I'm a pretty big fan of it. Let's see, what else you guys want to know? Let me know if you have any questions specifically. I'll answer the ones I'm comfortable with on today's live stream. It's been a lot of fun talking today. I'm curious what you guys think. Do you think the markets are going to continue? Let me pull this back up. I'm curious if you guys think the markets are going to continue to do well, or is this one of those like fake bull runs where everything starts to come up and then it crashes back down again? You see that in the stock market a lot. So I'd love to know what you guys think. But going back to just quickly seeing significant user growth. We saw this in 2018, both what led up to the crash and after it. And then you see the same thing happening now, sort of a repeat. Those are interesting signs, very, very interesting signs for crypto. So curious to know what you guys think as well. Let's see, anything else you guys want to know about Kishu? I don't know anything about Kishu, my friend. I see that in the chat. Never really played with it, not aware of it at all. So unfortunately, can't help you on that one. So George is saying markets will continue consolidating. Yeah, maybe. And we shouldn't be afraid of these pullbacks. There's clearly been some drivers for this, as we discussed at the beginning of the live stream. I've been through this before many times. It doesn't panic me. It doesn't scare me. I think we're going to be okay in the long run. But if those of you that sold high had moved it and maybe into a stable coin, maybe now is a great time to consider buying back in, at least some of it for sure. Okay, so Seller, which is a layer 2 solution. I love layer 2 solutions. I think that's really the future of crypto. So I'm a networking guy. I'm like an IT guy by trade. I'm a cybersecurity guy. And when you look at like innovation that happens there, you have some big innovations in things like, for example, TCP/IP, and then you have things run on top of it. And then you have applications that run on top of all of that. And that's really where I think we're seeing the crypto world go, is we're seeing a lot of this capability around Ethereum as an example of this, and in several others that are a great layer 1 solution that are providing the baseline technology that we need, but then we need to build on top of it. And that's where innovation is continuing to happen. I think that's really exciting. So I love layer 2 solutions. I don't actually know a ton about that one in particular, but I do think it's pretty cool. Stay tuned on Internet Computer ICP. That's been on my radar as well. I do have some links. I've been looking into that one a little bit. I know there's been a ton of buzz on that one, even on my channel. So I'd like to cover that one pretty soon as well. Got a couple minutes for just a few last questions if you have them. But hey, if you're joining me, you can check out my channel. It's just youtube.com/Wes Spencer. Cover mostly cryptocurrency. I cover some cybersecurity stuff, entrepreneurial stuff. One thing I'm really big on doing in my channel is just encouraging you guys to go take some risks and do some things that not a stupid risk, right? Like don't go put a second mortgage on your home and go put it all into Bitcoin. But understand in this world, we have a short lifespan and we should do some great things with our life. And so financial freedom is a powerful thing. And I'm a big fan of that. I think cryptocurrency plays right in hand with that. And I love the technology of where it's going. I remember I was pretty lucky to really see the beginnings of the internet as a kid in the 90s, and to see it grow into what it is today. And I just can't help but think cryptocurrency is the second iteration of that. And very fortunate to see two huge world-changing technologies come into place. Internet being one and cryptocurrency being another. And so I love covering it here. Will Pi Network make it? Great question. Who knows is the answer to that. I've shared this often. People ask me often. So if you don't know what we're talking about, Pi Network, you can go, sir, I think it's minepi.com. It's an interesting project because it's not a cryptocurrency yet. It's running on Stellar. It's actually a fork of Stellar. The test net is out, and test wallets are out, and test transactions are out. So you can actually see it work. We do know there's technology behind it. There's about 17 million users, not all active, but 17 million users in the application, in the system, in the platform, which is powerful. There's not a lot of cryptos that have even anywhere near that number. So, Pi Network is interesting because it's built a community first, and then they're trying to catch up with technology second. And most crypto, if not all, build technology first, then try to build a market second. And so I think Pi is interesting because they've reversed the two, and it makes it an interesting journey to follow to see if it works. They've got a lot of work they need to do, but I am a believer in the idea, and I think it's really, really cool. And it touches on things that I think are important in the crypto space. One of those is, not many of us have the opportunity to mine Bitcoin, let alone Ethereum, Litecoin, and the other proof of work coins that are out there. And, that age of mining before it got so commercialized was exciting because you had your own equipment that you could just mine on, and you'd make some money off of it with just your own resources. And today we can't do that by and large with our own proof of work stuff. Chia is interesting. I covered Chia a while ago because you can do it with drive space, but even that is starting to blow up and get hard to do. And so Pi is all about using your phone. It's all about using a device that you have, which is exciting, to give you the capability to not really mine, but to sort of carve out your own stake of a crypto. It's really, it's a concept that's interesting to me. So yeah, I'm following it. I'm very interesting. But Stanley, you're right. Crazy long pre-launch. Yeah. And again, part of that is because they built a big community first, and then they're building the technology second. And yeah, it's going to take some time, but a lot of cryptos are old. It might pop quiz. Take Matic, for example. I'm going back to the back ends of my mind, but I think, does anyone know when Matic was created? I think it was created in like 2017. And here we are today, talking about it, trending as the number one surviving, 24-hour earning coin on CoinMarketCap. That's a coin that's 4 years old, so it takes time for cryptocurrency projects to mature and build. They're not all like these overnight burn tokens that you and I can copy SafeMoon's contract, create some marketing behind it, pay some B-list or C-list celebrity off cameo.com and blow that thing into the heavens. They're not all that easy, right? So definitely think it takes some time. Yeah. So 2017. Thank you guys. You guys always got my back. I appreciate you. So this has been super fun, guys. Really enjoyed spending some time with you today on the live stream. And let me know what questions, comments you have. If you haven't subbed to my channel, I'd love for you to do it. A great way for you to stay in touch with me. And I'll try to continue to do live streams when I have some content that's worth talking to you guys about. But big fan of Matic, big fan of Polygon. Wanted to share why it's done so well over the past 24 hours and really the past week as a top performer. Super excited. So got to jump to my next thing, guys, but it's been super fun to be chatting with all of you guys today and just staying in touch. You guys are super awesome. I'll get links into this as well. So if you want to check out some of the things I showed you, you'll be able to see all the things we talked about in the live stream. And until next time, my friends, thank you guys so much.